A new survey for Disney Dreamlight Valley is out now, and there's some pretty interesting stuff we should talk about. Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and we are sure off to an interesting start this week. And I finally unlocked the pink crocodile critter companion. One of the hardest critters to unlock. But yeah, I'm so glad I can finally clear its feeding schedule off my phone alarms. I was not expecting another Dreamlight Valley survey this soon. We had one in early January, so I thought it'd be a while, but it is time. And I'm not going to go over every single question because especially the beginning and the end has a lot of stuff just about like asking your age, where you're from, what social media you follow the game on. It's not really that important, I don't think. I just want to go over the stuff that could shape the future of the game, as well as how Gameloft communicates with us. And yes, that includes possible characters and lots of them. Definitely stick around for that later in the video, but we have some other things to go over first, including events. So they asked, which of the following have you participated in? Extravaganza 2024, Dreamlight Parks Fest, and Memory Mania, which is actually not done yet. But you have the different options. I've not heard of this event. I've heard of this event but did not participate. I participated but did not finish it. I participated in this and earned all the rewards. So with Dreamlight Parks Fest, I participated, but I couldn't complete everything because at first it worked fine for me, but then I ran into that glitch where I couldn't accept the quest. And then Memory Mania, I'm almost done, but I haven't gotten all 200 memories for that last statue. But then for Extravaganza, I did get all of the rewards. Then they asked me how I first heard of the Dreamlight Parks Fest event, and of course it was through their social media account, specifically Twitter. What motivated me to participate in the Dreamlight Parks Fest event? What I checked off was that the rewards were appealing, I didn't want to miss out on new content, and I enjoy engaging with Disney Parks content. After that are sets of opposing statements, where on one side is positive and the other is more negative. So there's basically enjoyment, rewards, tasks, and duration. I think the event should have been extended. I'm really surprised they didn't do that, especially with how many people ran into that bug where they couldn't accept the quests. But yeah, the rewards were cool. I only got one of them though. The Stitch popcorn bucket. I do like that one because it can open up and then there's a bunch of popcorn in there in his mouth. Next we have, why didn't you take part in or did not complete the event? I basically explained that already. The bugs! I know another major bug was that people's games could crash if they tried to make the new cupcake recipes outside, though I did not run into that one. Next up is, how would you rank the following in-game themes in order of your preference, with 1 being most preferred and 3 being least preferred. So, in-game events related to the latest characters that join the Valley, in-game events related to seasonal holidays, and events related to movie releases and anniversaries. I guess they just leaked a future event here because we've had nothing related to Lion King's 30th anniversary. The Lion King animated original came out on June 24th, 1994, so the date has already passed for that, but maybe that is just something we'll get later this year. Then I was asked, why did I choose seasonal holidays as my top choice? And I just think in general, they have given the most interesting content out of those choices so far, especially with the Star Pass that we've gotten around Halloween and Christmas time. Now for possible focuses of future in-game events, so you select up to 3 options. Cooking, gifting villagers, dressing up like wearing / equipping certain items, mining, foraging, gardening, finding hidden items, decorating, crafting, fishing, solving puzzles, or other. I went with dressing up, gardening, and solving puzzles. I considered the finding hidden items option, but we already have that with the Inside Out 2 event, and it hasn't exactly gone over all that great, considering some cakes can get stuck way out in the ocean in the Moana realm, or even other just unreachable locations like inside furniture of Mickey's and Goofy's homes. It's just, yeah, it's pretty messy. I actually wouldn't mind them doing something like this again, as long as they are a lot more careful about where they have the items spawn. Like, just have them spawn in the exact same coordinates all the time so you don't have incidents like this. And also, was getting a bit annoying towards the end, getting so many coins instead of memories. But that's been a problem with the game since day one. This event just kind of put more emphasis on it. I'm really glad they asked this next question. When would you most appreciate in-game events to occur? A few weeks before the next update launch at the same time as the update, or a few weeks after the update launch? This I've spoken about before. I would prefer a few weeks after the update launch so that new content is spread out, so it's not like we get everything at once, we play through it all in a couple weeks or so, and then we're just bored until the next update comes out in 2 or 3 months. I guess a few weeks before the next update wouldn't be too bad either, but as long as it's not the exact same time. They asked how likely I am to participate in future events. I put very likely. I'm still willing to give them a shot. Do you have any ideas for in-game event themes you'd like to see added? I've not really put much thought into this aspect of the game at all, but the one I came up with was an underwater-themed event that comes a few weeks after more water-based characters from movies like Finding Nemo or The Little Mermaid are added. I'm talking about characters that only swim unless you have their dream styles, with Ursula and Ariel being the only ones at the moment. Like, if we get characters such as Nemo, Marlin, Dory, maybe Sebastian or Flounder, then yeah, like an update that adds some of those characters. What's funny is that this suggestion ends up inadvertently connecting to a later part of the survey. Now we move on to clothes. So we have another pair of opposing statements where if you prefer clothes seen in Disney movies or if you prefer new and original clothing designs, and in the game want more fancy clothing options like wings, costumes, etc. Or in the game I want more casual clothing options like t-shirts, jeans, running shoes. Personally, I do get more excited seeing clothes that directly reference Disney movies, and I think we still have plenty of good casual clothing options, so I also chose the option about fantasy clothing. After that, they asked me, among the following types of clothes, which do you feel have the greatest need for more options? Select all that apply. Skirts, hats, pants, shorts, dresses, gowns, shoes, makeup, face paint, costumes inspired by character outfits, tops, coats, hairstyles, full outfits, glasses, jewelry, and other. I don't actually remember how many of these I checked off, but I know I definitely went with makeup / face paint and jewelry. Then we have, which clothing aesthetics would you like to see more represented in Disney Dreamlight Valley? Please select up to 3 options. It was so hard to only select 3. But we have witchy, fae / fairy, career, uniforms like firefighter, doctor, Western, cottagecore, basics, winter, school styles, Disney parks wear, beachwear, wedding, formal / fancy, princess core, athleisure, cute, superhero, royal, sci-fi, and other. I went with superhero, sci-fi, and cottagecore. I still remember the previous survey had Star Path ideas and one of them was cottagecore. I'm still waiting for that. I guarantee you that would be a Star Path that would go extremely well if you're listening to this Game Loft. But now it's time to buckle in because we're getting into the really juicy stuff. Which franchises would you be most excited to see added to Disney Dreamlight Valley in a future game update? Please select up to 3. So not only, again, is it really difficult to only select up to 3, but some of these listed are already represented in the game. They just don't have characters, but they have furniture or clothing. So there's Snow White, The Incredibles, Pinocchio, Hercules, Cinderella, Robin Hood, The Jungle Book, Emperor's New Groove, Cars, Aladdin, Star Wars, The Muppets, Winnie the Pooh, 101 Dalmatians, Zootopia, Alice in Wonderland, and none of these. I chose Zootopia, Emperor's New Groove, and The Muppets. I would like pretty much all of these in the game except for Star Wars, because my stance on Star Wars and Marvel content in Dreamlight Valley is, Even though I loved having them in Disney Infinity, that game had platforming and combat, which is gameplay that's a lot more suited to those properties. But for a cozier, more relaxing game like Dreamlight Valley, I don't think they make sense. Plus, I would rather have more time and budget given to the core Disney and Pixar characters. Sure, the Muppets also fall into that same category of properties not originally by Disney, but I think the likes of Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, Gonzo, they could fit in really well with Disney and Pixar characters. Interesting follow-up question too. In which way would you like to see your favorite franchises that you chose integrated into Disney Dreamlight Valley? So there's Realm featuring characters that can live in the valley, DLC/expansion pass featuring characters, biomes, and a storyline, secret main village quest line only without a realm, kind of like what they did with Mirabelle, and clothing and decorations only. So since I chose Zootopia, Emperor's New Groove, and the Muppets, that's what I have there, and I chose almost the same ranking for all of them. I put Realm as the top pick for all three because that's the easiest way to guarantee that we'll get more than just one character representing the franchise. Like for Zootopia, we have to have both Nick and Judy. We can't just have one. And for Emperor's New Groove, I don't just want Cusco. I would also love to have Kronk, because especially we have Kronk spinach puffs as a recipe since day one. Kind of like with Mushu's kanji, and we finally got Mushu recently. And I would also love Pacha. Yzma should be included as well, because, I mean, the memes. Pull the lever, Kronk! But, yeah, kind of pushing it at that point. But, yeah, at the very least, we gotta have Cusco and Kronk. Disney Speedstorm only has Kermit, so that's the only Muppet I would expect for Dreamlight Valley 2, but I also would love to at least have Miss Piggy and Fozzie. I did put the idea of an expansion pass for the Muppets lower than the other two franchises though, because I'm not sure how well that would go, because that would really limit the appeal. So for those who don't really care about Muppets, then that's just a whole expansion pass they're not going to buy, whereas the first one we have now has Rapunzel, Gaston, Eve, Oswald, and probably Jafar when we get the final act, so there's more variety going on there, so a broader appeal. For the next question, we have, which realms would you be least excited to see in a future game update? Select up to 3. Aladdin, 101 Dalmatians, Alice in Wonderland, Snow White, Cars, The Incredibles, The Jungle Book, Hercules, Star Wars, Pinocchio, Robin Hood, Cinderella, and Winnie the Pooh. So I chose Star Wars for obvious reasons. Pinocchio, I just don't really care much about. And Cars, well, I like Cars, probably more than most people, but I just don't think the Cars characters would fit in very well with the game. They were awkward enough in Disney Infinity, and at least that had racing as part of it. But especially without road systems, I just don't think Cars would fit very well unless they were a DLC and then the Cars characters were always just over in that island. But I think I would just avoid Cars altogether. But I don't mind getting clothing and furniture based off of that franchise. But now here we are, the characters. Among the following Disney and Pixar characters, which ones would you be the most interested to see? From a range of I don't know this character to very interested. So we have Snow White, Maid Marian from Robin Hood, Perdita from 101 Dalmatians, Shere Khan from The Jungle Book, Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, Pongo from 101 Dalmatians, Mater from Cars, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, Robin Hood, Lightning McQueen, Baloo from The Jungle Book, Genie from Aladdin, and Mowgli from The Jungle Book. Snow White isn't my favorite Disney princess by any stretch, but she's the OG. We really need to have her in the game. They should have added her last year for Disney's 100th anniversary. And yeah, it's cool to see Robin Hood acknowledged throughout this survey because I watched that movie so many times as a kid. Interesting to have 101 Dalmatians characters, though I'm not really interested in Cruella de Vil. And Jungle Book characters would be cool. I would especially like Baloo. I think he'd be a really fun addition. Genie would also be really interesting, and the Alice in Wonderland characters, I've never been into that as much, but I wouldn't mind seeing them, and with furniture themed around them, I think they're pretty much inevitable. But there's more. Alice from Alice in Wonderland, Jasmine, Aladdin, Bagheera from the Jungle Book, Nick from Zootopia, Peter Pan, Little John from Robin Hood, and of course, Judy Hopps from Zootopia. So yeah, definitely a lot of those I'm interested in too. They really gotta solve that Skull Rock mystery already. I'm sure Peter Pan is waiting in there for us. Even more possible characters: Hercules, Winnie the Pooh, Bo Peep, Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. This might be an odd choice to some of you, considering Pirates of the Caribbean is live action, but they actually put him in Disney Infinity and it worked pretty well. Forky from Toy Story, don't really care about him, even though I like Toy Story, but Piglet from Winnie the Pooh, Nemo from Finding Nemo, so there we go. It's funny I suggested that underwater event idea. And Elastigirl from The Incredibles, Randall from Monsters Inc., Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, Frozone, also Incredibles. So yeah, we gotta get Incredibles characters eventually. Rafiki from The Lion King, that's an interesting choice. I wouldn't mind having him as a companion. I would have rather them had Kovu as a Lion King option, but maybe with that possible event, maybe he'll go with that. Kim Possible, I never actually watched the show. I've heard very good things about it, but that could be interesting to see her in. Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, and yeah, Kermit from the Muppets I'm of course very interested in. Marlin from Finding Nemo, Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast, Dory from Finding Nemo, Grogu, I love how they also put in brackets, referred to also as Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian, Miss Piggy, Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph, Cinderella, Meg from Hercules, Jessie from Toy Story 2, and Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Look, I love Grogu, but again, yeah, just not really interested in having Star Wars characters in Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's it for characters, so some really interesting choices, but where the heck are Atlantis and Treasure Planet and Big Hero 6? Oh well, maybe next time. But now we have Disney Dreamlight Valley Showcase was a 20-minute stream video posted in November across their social medias, and the 2024 roadmap was shared alongside Disney Dreamlight Valley A Rift in Time, and there was the developer update. That was a 4-minute video from April before the Daisy update came out, also called Thrills and Frills, and they just ask if you've heard of or even watched them, and yeah, of course, I've seen both of them. Then they ask, how interested would you be seeing those formats of videos going forward? So I put very interested for the showcase, the longer live stream, because I think we're due for that after the Tiana update is out. There's nothing else on the roadmap, assuming Act 3 of Rift in Time comes out at the same time as that update. So yeah, that'd be great. But then for the developer 4-minute update, I only put somewhat interested because I feel those would only make sense for updates that are especially big. So I don't know if it really makes sense to do every single update going forward. Next question is, below is the statement that other people have made about the information on the premium shop we share on social media. Please let us know which best represents you. So on one end is, I would like to see premium shop content shared more often on the social media, and I would like to see premium shop content shared less often on their social media accounts. I went all the way to the left on that one because I think it just makes sense. Why not promote the premium shop content on their social media? Because then for those interested, then they'll know much quicker, because we can't always just log into our games right at the reset time when we get the new shop rotation and Dream Snap stuff. Last question I'll talk about is, how interested would you be to receive information on our social media about content coming to the premium shop before its release? I put somewhat interested because I'm okay with us just getting the sneak peeks in the trailers. I don't really need much more, if any, of that. But yeah, when it's out, definitely talk about it on the social media accounts. So that is it for the highlights of this survey. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be that interesting at first, if I'd even make a video about it. But wow, yeah, lots of possible characters that we could get in the future, and realms and clothing options. I do wish they asked about maybe like quality of life updates or just features that aren't just like, oh, characters, realms, clothing, and that stuff. Because, like, one example I brought up before is, like, a weather channel that we could watch on the TV and on the computers, so we'd know when it starts raining. Or just a toggle to turn off rain and fog. Why don't we have that? I just find that so strange. Maybe they'll do another survey in the future that focuses more on that stuff, because I just feel like maybe even more than characters and realms and star paths, we need quality of life updates that just overhaul the game and add more stuff to do just with the normal gameplay loop, just to make the game more interesting in the long run, even when we don't have new content around the corner. I spoke about Disney Infinity earlier and how it does have some platforming. I wouldn't mind some light platforming in Disney Dreamlight Valley, like nothing ridiculously difficult. Nothing like that obstacle course in Palia. They went overboard with that. But yeah, as long as it doesn't take too much from Palia perhaps, then yeah, it would be nice if we could have some platforming to vary up the gameplay more. So feel free to let me know your thoughts on this survey in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!